All right, guys, today is a pretty good day. The reason it's a good day is because we have somebody that is challenging Maura Healey, and his name is Mike Kennealy. I'm going to play the video for you, and then I'm going to give you some of my opinion.
Massachusetts, our home, the birthplace of our republic, a leader in innovation, a place with amazing people, great communities, a strong spirit, and a desire to lead. But for the first time in many years, our state is headed in the wrong direction. Young people, families, and seniors are choosing to leave Massachusetts.
He's right.
Everything from gas to housing to taxes is too expensive. Too many kids aren't receiving the education they need to compete in a global economy. Our transportation system is still broken. The unspeakable violence in migrant shelters is a human tragedy and a national embarrassment. The political class on Beacon Hill is more concerned with their future than with ours. Our beacon on the hill has become a beacon in the rearview mirror. The people of Massachusetts expect and deserve better. I'm Mike Kennealy, and I'm running for governor because I believe in the unlimited potential of our state through the power of our people. I believe in it because I've seen it in every corner of the Commonwealth. I believe that right now we have the chance to chart a new future, to restore common sense to the Commonwealth, to create a Massachusetts that works for everyone, a place where our government is effective and accountable and responsible, and where the politicians answer to the people, not the other way around. I've succeeded in business and as a public servant in state and local government. I've traveled all over our Commonwealth to work with business and government and community leaders to get things done. I've helped turn around a broken public school system and create better pathways for our kids. I'd like to put my experience to work for you.
All right.
This is a time, more than ever, when we need strong and experienced leadership. I love this state and this country, and I want to serve because, just like you, I want to make Massachusetts a better place to live, work, and raise a family, and I believe that I can. I'm Mike Kennealy, and I'm excited to announce my candidacy to be your governor. So come join us, and let's get to work.
All right, so I want to touch on a couple of things that he said there. So first of all, he had mentioned that people are coming, let's say, into this state, but they are also leaving. So I've done a couple of videos on the migration data in terms of people coming in versus people going out, and he's right. So what I see happening is, and this guy touched on a lot of things that I talk about, by the way. So I like him so far. Let's just say that. And one of the things in the beginning that he said was the people coming in and going out and so on and so forth. And that's true. So what happens is a lot of people come here, they will get educated here, and then they leave. And the reason that they leave is because it is completely unaffordable for people that are just getting out of school. Not everybody gets out of school with a job that is making, $200,000 or $150,000 or $300,000 and could afford to live in the area that they either went to school in or to even afford to live in the state that they went to school in. So you have people coming, they're getting educated, and then they're out of here. Second of all, we also have people that are a little bit more up in age that are leaving the state as well. And the reason is because it's become unaffordable. Even if they own their home, the cost of energy is just astronomical. You know that. It's astronomical. I had a phone call the other day from a gentleman, and he's deciding between buying food or paying his electric bill. It shouldn't be that way. And the fact is, you have all of these people out there that have their, let's say, luxury beliefs, and it's really a shame for it's a shame for the majority of people throughout this state. Okay, that's what it is. The second thing that he said was, and this wasn't verbatim, but he said something along the lines of our politicians are more concerned with their, let's say, political careers or their political futures than they are with the people and the state that they serve. I just made a post on X over the weekend that outlined that exactly. They're fighting this imaginary battle that they think that they could win. And I think the reality of it is that they're just trying, it's just a facade. That's what I really think it is. I truly think it's a facade. And I think that it's a facade because I truly think that they want to, let's say, enhance their political careers. That's fine, but don't do it at the expense of the people that you were elected to serve, right? At least that's the way I see it. The third thing that he said from memory was that people the politicians are not responding to the people, right? And they should be. And the fact is this, there is a handful of people in our legislature that is essentially controlling everything. They're controlling everything. All of the decisions that get made have to go through them. And for better or for worse, they decide on what they want to decide on. So even if there is a Democrat or Republican that have this like amazing bill or policy or whatever it is, it gets shot down and it doesn't even make any movement throughout the legislature. And the fact is, it's a shame because a lot of these things, like think of the audit, this should not be happening, right? They work for us. It's not the reverse. So that's kind of what he was talking about as well. And then as for housing and so on and so forth, it just goes into the affordability crisis, which is linked also to not building more housing. We were supposed to build all these houses. Where the hell are they? Right? I'm in the business. Where are they? I don't know where they are. And then the houses that they're building have to become more energy efficient, more this, more that. It's just more money. That's all that it is. It's more money, which in turn drives up the cost for the everyday consumer, for the average person. Furthermore, this is the biggest difference that I see between, let's say, back in 2022 when Maura got elected versus, let's say, 2026. So at least on let's call it a congressional level, the Democratic Party's approval was significantly higher. Actually, I'll show you something. It was significantly higher than it was today. So I was watching this video earlier today. Look at their approval rating. It's 21%. This is down from like 2 weeks ago when it was like 29%. And I think the reason that this is down, I mean, look at it this way. The most obvious factor for something like this is meaning Democrats, are in a position where they're worried about these ideological issues that only a small fraction of the country cares about, right? If you can't pay your bills, if you can't take care of your family, if you can't afford a house, you can't pay for your health insurance, you can't pay for car insurance, guess what? Those become the priority for the American people, okay? All of the other things on the back end are, to an extent, some of them are important too, but it starts at home, right? Charity should start at home. Your focus should start at home. And they are completely disconnected from what the American people want. That's a fact. When you see people, they're out protesting with these people, and I'm not saying protesting is good or bad, right? But what I am saying is that they need to focus more on state level issues, right? Not these, grand plans where you're standing up there and you're trying to, to some extent, trying to elevate your career to get in on a federal level or whatever they're trying to do. And that's honestly what I think. Because that's the other thing that he talked about. They're trying to, they put themselves in a position, these politicians are in a position where they lose sight of the people that they were elected to serve. Okay. And they start battling this, they're like fighting with air, for instance. Like, it's just, stuff is not going to change because of one frickin' protest. Okay. It's not going to happen. They should take care of the people at home before they try to, let's say, take care of the country. People can't afford shit here. And they're more focused on this, on these beliefs that they have, these luxury beliefs that they have. And it's a shame. So I'm going to stay up to date with whatever Mike does. As a matter of fact, we are going to email him this morning to see if we could get him on the podcast, just so I could learn a little bit more about him, just so I could learn a little bit more about his policies, what he believes in. I think all of that is very, very important. And just to get to learn him better as a person, right? You could tell a lot about people just by talking to them. Okay. So that's my plan. But overall, I think this is a good thing. And I realistically think if the country trends in the same direction that I believe it's heading into, A lot of people are exhausted with the way it was, let's say, the last few years, right? Everybody is exhausted. There's only so much charity that we could have, okay? Once, there's got to be a cutoff point, and a lot of people are at that cutoff point, right? You cannot be emotionally manipulated every single day on the news and not eventually wake up, let's say. So I think Maura's in some trouble. I really and truly do. I think that she's in a lot of trouble. I know that there's a majority of people that support her, but there's also a huge majority of people that don't. And it starts at home. It starts with your bills, and it starts with taking care of your family, right? If they don't want to help you take care of your family, what the hell are they here for, right? They're only making things more expensive for average day people. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.